Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Max. Pyro, how you doing? Good morning. Drive home. Let's say something funny. Bear and the rabbit are taking a crap in the woods. The bear turns to the rabbit, and rabbit asks rabbit, said, "Rabbit, do you have a problem with crap sticking to your fur?" Rabbit says, "Well, no, I don't." And the bear wiped his butt with the rabbit. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Papa C. Letta, hello. Good evening or afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? I want to apologize for last week. Last week I got hit and blindsided by some crap, and it was too late. Too late for me. I should have been in bed, and I just knew I wasn't going to be able to be worth the crap the next day. So, but here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Good morning, Maggie. How you doing this morning? 4 p.m. It's no longer freezing here. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I made an excellent cup of coffee this morning. The tall ones. Howdy, howdy. Welcome back. Yes, sir. I want to briefly touch on something we were talking about last week. You know, bringing new people into the fold, keeping them here, and keep them interested. You know, I think one of the big things that turn people off is when they get into these Bigfoot groups and start learning about this, that, and the other, and they see what kind of fighting goes on between these few groups, and it's, I don't know, man. Why in the world do we fight among each other? It's just there's too much information to share. Way too much information to share. I think we could benefit from one another. Well, nice out. Wish you could see this ghostly face that I've got in my freaking coffee cup right now. It's kind of cool. 2 months, 2 months too late. Yeah, it's one of them days. Mr. Lee, how you doing, buddy? Good afternoon to you, Miss Loretta. Hello, hello. How's everything over that way? It's true. Now, talking to some people who are just, fresh faces, interested in the subject, I mean, not just Bigfoot, just the paranormal altogether. And, dude, they got fresh ideas, you know. Wendy, I asked them how things were over there, Wendy. Dark and rainy, same as usual. Yep, yep, yep. I don't know how y'all do it, man. I gotta have 1 or 2 sunny days anyway. Whoa, 40s in Florida? Mm. Maggie says, "Why does one cup of coffee taste great, then the second one doesn't?" You didn't make it right. No, I don't know. I space mine out. I don't have but 1 cup in the morning, maybe 1 in the afternoon, and the one in the morning's got caffeine, the one in the afternoon does not. I can't, wow, Max. I woke up this morning, it was 26 degrees. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better than I was. Another thing I want to do too is give a shout out to everybody who sent me messages of concern and um, sending me well wishes and all that. Guys, I really appreciate that. I needed that. Um, for those of you who reach out personally, because there's a few of you who have got my number and can reach out personally. That meant the world to me. It really did. I appreciate that. But I just I'm working through some stuff, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Up to 38 here now. Wow. 26 degrees here, still in bed, but now wanting some coffee. I understand that. Yeah, Max, you got snow on the ground up there yet? I mean, in Cape Cod. This is true. You gotta take the bad with the good. Because if you didn't have the bad, you sure as hell would not appreciate the good. I met I've met some people who've had a real cushy life, and their idea of hardship and strife is not getting their allowance or stipend, or they didn't get a car for their 16th birthday, or they didn't get the car they wanted for their 16th birthday. I mean, we all know those people exist. We really do. We all know those people exist. Oh, I hear you. You got to doctor it up like I do. Now, I used to like my coffee straight black, dark, bitter, hot. I mean, scald your mouth hot. You just have to sip on it a little bit at a time. It'd take you 2 hours to drink 1 cup for it to cool down. But now I've gotten a little bit older. I put a little uh, sweetener in it, not sugar, usually monk fruit or maybe stevia if I got it. And then put a little creamer in it. This tastes like chocolate chip cookies. It's really good. I'm a kid. Just leave me alone. But it's still got that coffee aftertaste. You still talk. I don't put enough in it to cover up the coffee so much. You know. Of course, I make my coffee strong anyway. Yeah, that's a really good question. My son is he's not like normal kids. You just can't go out and buy him a Tonka truck or something like that, and he'll be happy with it. No, mm-mm. He is his autism puts him into a category all his own. His cousin, his cousins, they're a lot alike. And come to find out, I mean, they need to sit down and compare notes, I guess, once they get older, or when my son gets older. And getting getting my son something for Christmas, he asked for very little. So he did want a video game, so we're getting him that, and a few odds and ends he wanted. I'm on the hunt for that. I know it's coming down close to the wire and all that, but it's hard to get anything out of him. I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? If you don't tell Santa Claus now, um, he's going to say, well, this child didn't want nothing, so maybe I'll get him a peppermint stick and um, something I found in the back. I was like, oh, I don't want that to happen. Well, I know you don't want that to happen, but so you got to tell me something. So he wants cap guns. Growing up, I wanted to be a TV cowboy gunfighter. You know, mom and daddy always found a way to get me a rig. And the last time I got cap guns, they hooked me up. For me personally, I had a 2 gun rig, holster on each hip, and these pistols I had had to simulate. They were plastic, but it looked like ivory grips, nickel plated cap guns. They used the roll caps. It was great, and they had heft to them. They weren't these plastic things that some of them see now. It's none of that plastic stuff. The frame itself was metal, die cast metal, had some heft to them. If you hit some, if you would, how in some of them old westerns the cowboys would pistol whip somebody and knock them out. You do that, you split a kid's head open. I'm not even joking. And I had a box full of cap guns. Let's see. Mr. Lee, are you on the spectrum, sir? My son's fascinating the way he thinks. I mean, he's still a child, but he talks about other things. It's like he likes chemistry. They're, I mean, he's in the 4th grade. He's getting an introductory course in chemistry and stuff, and he loves it. He likes math. I had no idea, Mr. Lee. 49 years. Yep, yep, yep. Billy the Kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brandon, you got that in my head now. And then it was that quick. Dogma and importantly, math got involved. Yeah, unfortunately, science and math kind of go hand in hand. You gotta have it. And dogma, yeah, yeah. That's the part that gets me. Let's see. Yeah, and it's amazing how quickly he they can adapt to this stuff. I mean, I when my nephew was born, before that, he had a cousin that I hardly ever see her. She had a son, and he was autistic, higher functioning, and um, I didn't know that much about autism, and they would tell me about his mannerisms and things like that, and I just didn't understand. Then my sister had twin boys, and her youngest, and one of them was on the spectrum, and he sensory disorder, the whole thing. I mean, he wasn't eating solid food till maybe about 3 years, 2 years ago now. He was on Ensure and vitamins. Now his twin brother, who he is actually older than, is a head and shoulders taller than he is. It dramatically affected his growth. Dramatically affected his growth and his hormone levels and all that stuff because of the lack of that nutrition. I mean, he's a little fella. I mean, he's going on 16 years old and ain't much bigger than my 9-year-old son. That's it's sad. I did not understand all that. Um, how hard it is to accommodate some of these children that they can't do it. My son, um, he had a thing about uh, clothes. This kid, as soon as he gets home, he'll strip off his clothes and run around naked. And the reason why he does it is just it's skin. He said it's all itchy, 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 itchy. And he said I can deal with it for a while, but not all the time. No, I couldn't tell. I mean, you couldn't tell it with my son either, till you hung around with him for a little bit. And his those of you who are familiar with autism, you're familiar with the tics or the stimming that goes on. There, sometimes it's like a coping mechanism for whatever happens, but they get sad or they get excited. I know my son has a certain way of doing things. Excuse me. Has a certain way of doing things that just no matter how many times he does it, just tickles the devil out of me. Good morning, Judy. Good morning. Yes, I have. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, my son has that. Um, it's amazing how he deals with things. Um, it's just until you have that, until someone has that in their life, they just don't know. I don't get it. Those of you have hung out with me for a while, you've probably heard my son in the background every now and then, screaming and hollering. um, you know, I don't mind it. I don't care. It's what he does. Um, right here. You say you're low on the spectrum, can't be around some sounds. Um, Touching is difficult. I understand that. Um, my son has um, some auditory um, sensitivity, and it's like I was mentioning earlier, the touching, like the clothes thing. Um, and he does have amount of anxiety, and we have to work through it a little bit at a time. Um, his social, yeah, me and his mom are rather social people. I mean, duh, I'm doing this, but he has a thing to where and it's I'm actually taking cues from him, learning how to do things. As strange as that sounds, I mean, you always learn new ways. But he will get in a crowded room and he'll just sit and be quiet and he'll watch. He'll watch things and then he'll ease his way into things. He just reads. He literally reads the room. He's brilliant. I understand that. I've thought about that a lot. It can't be just the fact that there's so many children that have autism today as compared to back then. I mean, I don't think it was as recognized as it is today. I think there's quite a bit of autism that went on from when I was born. I mean, I'm looking back on, and I think maybe I'm on the spectrum to some degree because of how I am sometimes. Concentration, being fixated on something and doing one thing extremely well. Once I get interested in something, I mean, I get this laser focus on it and I can excel at it. But, the whole thing of jack of all trades, master of one. Well, today it's master of none. Power off. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anywho, yep. Let's see. Eye contact, touching, food textures. Yeah. Like my nephew, he couldn't eat. He'd get food in his mouth and it was just like, no, he just spit it right out. And he was going to starve to death if they didn't do something. They had to put him on hormones. Right now, he's eating solid food. I mean, he's 15 years old. That's just one of those things. Mm, I think, let me put this up here. They always say that it's a lack of diagnosis. You don't miss a severe autism diagnosis. There's no missing it. The symptoms are always there, the same as non-anomalous. It's a new problem. I think the amount of autism cases we have now, as compared to we have, say, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, yeah, yeah, it's a big difference. Um, back then, back when I was growing up, they labeled things learning disabled. You were LD, right? And I was in what they call Title One. It was a remedial class for learning disabled children. And I was in that for probably um, all through elementary school. Starting probably around the third grade, I guess. Let's see. Richie, I'm doing okay. I appreciate it. And thank you for the message, too. I do appreciate that. I have a problem internalizing stuff and not letting stuff go, but I had a couple of people I talked to and just got things out. Um, I'll be all right. That sounds a lot like my nephew. Um, Around 3 years old with my son, I knew it right away. Um, my wife was in a bit of denial. No, he's just slow developing, slow developing. Can you see my phone in the background there? That light blinking on and off. Can you guys see that? Every time I get an alert, just sorry about that. I just I just want to draw your attention to that. That's just find it interesting. To the naked eye, you can't see this light blinking on and off. You can't to the naked eye. If it alerts, if this phone alerts and comes on, I mean, let me do this. And it just turns on. I look at it and I can't see that light. It's crazy. All right. Like right now, this is how I see it. Let me turn this on real quick. Can you see that light right there? And I cannot see that with the you can't see it with the naked eye. The government's always watching. Always watching. Well, where was I at? Oh yes. Um I noticed my son, his, his language, his comprehension, his his motor skills were lack in some ways. Social ability was really lack, and that was due to because of his speech delay. Um, oh yeah, that's it was um, it was a learning experience, man. It was a learning experience, but it's and I agree with you that now there's way more people out here that have autism than they did when I was little. Way more. Let's see. Let's see. Well, the X-Files, Smoking Man. Well, he didn't sound like that, but Big Brother does sound like that to me. Just nails across the chalkboard. Let's see. Ida, good morning. Good morning. Take a sip. Hope everybody's doing all right this morning. Wow, could you believe this? We've been 31 minutes at it now already. Already. Time flies, don't it? Time really flies. I missed a couple of messages over the weekend, and I was just like, um, Thursday was a little rough, and I had to miss work Friday because my son was home. He was complaining about a sore throat, and next thing you know, that morning, Friday morning, wakes up, he's got a temperature of almost 100. I'm like, good Lord, no. He has got to stay home, and I got to stay home with him. Good morning, Ray. Who all's at work right now? Would anybody be willing to come on and shoot the breeze with me for about 20, about 15, 20 minutes? I'm going to throw a link in the chat. Cray, cray, ray, ray. Oh. It's in response to this. Well. That's hilarious. Better get your butt in that bed, man. Lord. Oh, no. I'm sorry, buddy. Mm-mm-mm. That disease right there is something I wouldn't wish on anybody. Mm-mm. Let's see. Yeah, my heart goes out to you, Papa. I mean, it's kind of one of those bittersweet things. You see somebody struggling and suffering. You don't want them to leave, but deep down it's the best thing for them. It's kind of like what happened to my daddy. My daddy was suffering, and he'd been suffering for a while, and just I don't know, it was hard to deal with. And what happened to my mom? It was almost a same thing. I mean, when she got down, she stayed down, and next thing you know, I mean, she's done. She's done, and she checked out early that morning. And so when she only had machines keeping her alive, I said, they ain't living. They ain't living, then just let her go. I mean, I had a little bit more say and a little bit more closure with her than I did with my dad. Because with my dad, it was really quick, really sudden. When I left him that day, he had come out of surgery, and he was doing okay. His vitals looked really good. He was just tired, you know. And so we're like, okay, we'll see you in the morning. That morning never came for him. So I mean, I had a hard time with my dad a little bit. It was a little bit easier with my mom, but I still miss her. And kind of, I'm French, but it's been really shitty the last couple of months. It's been really shitty. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mhm. I concur. Yep. Right here, every single autopsy reveals lots of aluminum, mercury, and the whole works. Everything in your flu shots pushed by. Yep. Yep. That's why I try to stay away from pharmaceuticals. I mean, I try to tell people this, and they just look at me like, "Oh, here's Lee with his tinfoil hat again." I said, "That's fine. That's fine, dumbass. You just go ahead and keep on putting that shit in your body. Keep on. Keep on. That's fine." Uh, I can't eat cookies anyway, Richie. It's okay. And keep them away from me. And yes, I avoid fluoride too. I believe that. I believe there's a way you can reverse that too, to a certain degree, if you can catch it in time. I am on a well. Me and my neighbor share a well. This is our water coming from the earth. um, as far as I know, ain't nobody contaminated that shit. But I mean, it's there. It's got heavy in iron, but that's okay. Yes, it is. Don't you find it funny? All this organic stuff. I was one of those ignorant asses who laughed at organic. What about it? A grass-fed cow, of course, they eating grass. Well, I got a chance to mix feed and keep track of all the stuff that's in it, all the hormones and all the steroids. all that stuff. The antibiotics that goes in all of these dairy cows, all of these beef cows. You can't get by with it. And those of us who are adamant about not taking the jab, I pray you don't have to have a blood transfusion. You just let that sink in for a minute. See, they don't want us to know about cures, man. Well, I've talked about this before. Need to regularly check the well for arsenic, glyphosates, waste that can leach into our water tables. This is true. The last time we had it checked was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. We had to replace a water pump. You know, those aren't cheap. That by itself was about $800, and having somebody put it in, just the pump and all the stuff that goes with it, and then having somebody put it in was right at $2,000, I think, right at. So this is everywhere. Bureaucracy is full with everything. Everything. When I say to people that politics is in everything, I mean it. I told that story last week about the knitting circle on Facebook. I'm not even joking. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Look at all the pharmaceuticals found in the water. We're a medicated society on the whole. You wonder about the low birth rate, low T levels in most men. Why do you think that is? It's not just social conditioning. It's not just social conditioning. It's medication. Well, honey, I tell you what, we need somebody to check it for us. Good morning, Brandy. Good morning. It's almost not morning anymore. Yeah. I mean, I believe there's something to the chemtrail thing. Um, they're not just seeding clouds. They're not just seeding clouds. Yeah. This is a fact. For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome to the Ravens Outpost. This morning, Coffee with Lee. I'm your host, Lee. We're having a conversation this morning, it turns out, about effects of chemicals on our well-being. Bigfoot groups, Infighting, and trolls was the beginning of the conversation, but this is where it wound up. And this is a wonderful thing about this show. This is just it it just rolls over. It's continually morphing into something different. You start out with one thing, and by the end, you've got something else. And Ray's right. I mean, I've looked into this too. I mean, homeopathic and holistic healers, they were they've been they've been put down, called quacks. All of these certified doctors, medical degree. I mean, they have an MD by their name, who don't want to treat a problem. They want to cure a problem and find ways to do it. They're discredited. They're shunned because the full impact of the pharmaceutical and medical industry. You need all these fancy doodads to check for stuff, and then you need all these fancy chemicals to put in the body to treat the stuff to keep the person alive just long enough for the funeral homes to get their cut. Do y'all realize how expensive it is to put someone in the ground? If you do not have insurance, you're screwed. I mean, it's not just burial, it's cremation. I mean, that's not cheap either. Hey, there might be somebody who's tuning in who don't know who the fuck I am. Just saying. Sorry about the F bomb, but I'm just saying to that. Like there ain't nobody new coming in. Shit. There might be. Uh that's how they get in your system. That's exactly right. They treat the system, not the cause. And there's no benefit in a cure. There's no benefit in there's no profit in a cure. You curing people. Why the hell do you want to cure people? You got to make money off of this stuff. We talked about this here not too long ago about how the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry they just they profit off of people's misery. Yeah, yeah. I started developing heart problems probably, I want to say about 5 years ago. I think I already had something, but hey, Eric, I don't know who that son of a bitch is. You might want to call somebody. Uh, this is a fact. You get sick, you keep sick. They want you sick. Really? I'm just some chucklehead with a YouTube channel sitting here running his mouth to a camera and hoping somebody listens and pays attention to him. No, I don't care. Yep, it's a fact. Going on 2 years ago now, my heart rate was so high, called the ambulance. It was about 20 minutes to get from here to the hospital in the ambulance. And between the time I left here, I left this driveway and got there, they've given me 3 nitroglycerin tablets. 3. You know, Talk about tomatoes. Let me tell you something about tomatoes, man. I used to get homegrown tomatoes from this little couple used to live out for me. This is when I was married, my first wife, and first time we moved in together where we lived at. This little couple had this little bitty store. Uh, it wasn't big at all. It wasn't big at all. It was just a little convenience store. You come by and pick up canned goods and stuff like that. But they had fresh garden tomatoes, cucumbers, corn, all that stuff. And you cut into that tomato, it's so juicy and red. I mean, the smell would hit you. It was like, oh man. I used to love me some macaroni salad too. And a good juicy tomato when that macaroni salad was really good. You buy a tomato at Walmart now, and the center's so damn hard you can't eat it. What the hell's up with that? Manufactured food? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that's kind of how I want to keep it. I got a problem with my back right now, and I'm trying to keep that together. Sitting in this stinking ass chair I've got right here, it's a piece of junk. I gotta get, I gotta get a new one. I gotta get a better one. This is a fact. I mean, this is a fact. And it'd be hard to get medical help anywhere. They'll take everything you got. For my mom, for my poor mama to be on Medicare and Medicaid, she had to give up a lot. She pretty much had to sign everything over to my brother. Good morning, Hiker. Hiker X is in the house. Good morning. Um, it's got 2 minutes of morning left. But yeah. Thank you, Ida. I hope he is too, but I kind of doubt it. I've been on the naughty list. Yes, indeedy. There's there's a thing about lemon zest that's beautiful, and it's I mean it's great. I have lemon water all the time. Oh, that's funny. Well, good morning, Nikki. I'm glad you can come by. Stop in and say hi. I'm about to wrap everything up here. Got a couple minutes left. Nikki, I loved your cooking show the other day. I loved it. I absolutely love it. If you hadn't tuned in to Nikki's channel to watch her cook, that was refreshing. That was really good. I'd like to see more of that. I really would. You can only handle so much Bigfoot, you know? That's why I do these discussions in the mornings. Let's start with something and we'll go from there. What'd she say? She's not lying. Good stuff. There's so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the first time I caught on to the cooking. It was great. Nikki, I think that's a call for help, honey. You too, Ida. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you. It's good to see everybody this morning. Here we go. She's doing the chili in a few. I'll be watching. I'll be watching. Ah, yeah. I was going to throw a link in the chat, but everything got going, and I'm like, oh, okay. This will work. For those of you tuning in, look, pay attention to chat. Chat is the water that floats this boat. It really is. Everybody that's here every morning, hang out with me every morning. Uh, every morning I'm on. It's great. It's wonderful. And this is the Merry Christmas to you too. And that's another thing I ain't afraid to say. Everybody's like, have a happy holiday. It's Christmas. And look, I don't look at Christmas the same way as I used to. I celebrate it for a different reason now. But it still has the same feel to it as it did when I was a kid. Sorry, my back's killing me. Um, yeah, it's true. But when I was a kid, it was something different. I didn't realize because my family. I'm going to wrap the show up with this right here. Christmas to me, when I was a kid, had this magical feel to it. There was a lot of mystery, a lot of excitement. You know that feeling you get when you're a kid with the lights and the twinkling and stuff, and you're bringing a tree in your stinking house. I mean, come on, those nuts. I need to get a hold of a picture of that tree we had when I was like, I don't know, maybe 3. I mean, Charlie Brown, seriously. But I never really knew what the reason for the season that everybody talks about. Later on, I know about it and all that, but I still treated it like I did when I was a kid. Um, for me, Christmas was more of a Thanksgiving than Thanksgiving was. Thanksgiving was kind of cool and all like that. It kind of kicked everything off. It was the season that kicked off the Christmas season for me. That's why I got excited. It wasn't just the presents either. It was the excitement for the presents. Like those of you who hunt, that thrill of being out there, and it's the thrill of the hunt. And trying to make this correlate here, to see where I'm coming from. My daddy used to always say, "Boy, you sure you want to get out here and do this? You kill that deer. That's when the work starts." I mean, he's right. It's when the work starts because you got to drag that sucker out and you got to dress it up and you hang it and all of a sudden and then you got to process the meat. But it's that thrill. From me, Christmas had that same thrill. It was like, oh, what's going to happen next? And like I said, there was a lot of mystery and magic there for me, and I try to keep that. Happy gluttony. For me now, it's getting together with my family and having fellowship. And for me, you guys are an extended family. You are. You guys are here. Every morning I come on, you guys are here no matter what. Even if I'm going off running off the mouth about something. And it's yeah, yeah. I remember those. The aluminum Christmas tree. The first artificial Christmas trees were aluminum. Get out of here. No, I had my first bike was a Christmas. It wasn't a Christmas gift; it was a birthday gift. But my first red wagon, oh yeah, oh yeah. I pulled my sister around in that sucker for a while. Her and her little teddy bear. Yeah, yeah. I got an old fellow lives out maybe about mm, I want to say about 15 miles from me right now. That does that stuff. He's pretty reasonable. For me, I just process my own deer. I always have and I always will. It is. It is. Right. It was me, family. It was bright. It was beautiful. You know, it's like that song. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. And it's like, yeah, it really is. The whole town gets gussied up. There's bows and ribbons and stuff all over the place. Like this is great. It does seem that way though. But it's the build up to a big show that kind of fizzles out sometimes. But if you can keep but once Christmas morning hits, and if you can keep it going all through the night, Christmas for me as a kid didn't end till after January 2nd. After January 2nd, that's when we took all the Christmas stuff down, and that was it till next year. So, so that's Christmas for me. It's about family. It's about remembering the good things. Like, being their best self if you can. For me, yep, my favorite movie, my favorite Christmas movie. I can totally relate to it. That's fact. Oh no. Something tells me you're about to find out. I hope not, though. I really do. Yeah, I do too. Um, I think I'll leave that one. That's something I want to get into tomorrow. Maybe. I try to. I try to keep that. I try to keep that spirit in me all year long. That giving spirit, you know, and try to pass it along. Life is too short to be so damn ugly to people, you know? No, it's too short. And our loved ones are not here forever. We're not here forever. We come with an expiration date. We do. We come with an expiration date, and we need to keep that mindful, but not dwell on it. And use that as a reminder to, be kind to one another. No, I love you too. You grouchy old ass. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you, Judy. Yep. Wow. That's a handful. Tell you what, it's been a good morning. I appreciate you, every last one of you, stopping by and having coffee with me, hanging out, bullshitting for a little bit. I know I dropped a couple of not so pretty 4-letter words, but it is what it is. Sandra, darling, I hope you forgive me. My old sandpiper, I hope you forgive me. I love y'all. I tell you what, it's a fact. I'm grateful for every day I'm above the dirt and I'm able to spend time with my family and friends. Yeah, that's why you cuss all the time. All you do is cuss, 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 cuss. I'm a very passionate individual. That's how I express my passion toward what I'm talking about. Do you understand? Shit. All right, guys. That's a wonderful thing about this. You can go back and watch it in a rerun. Just stream it. That's a wonderful thing about this. I'm just glad you showed up, man. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Thank you, Papa, for coming by. Judy, Ray, Richie, Tall Ones, Pyro, Maggie. All of you have come by. All of you have hung out. And I love this conversation. I like the F word when I'm not mad. I'm sorry, I do. Colorful metaphors. Yep. Yep. Oh, okay. Let's go on over and watch Nikki make some chili. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same Raven time, same Raven channel. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Thank y'all for coming by and watching and hanging out. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. I love you, mean it. Bye.